The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff or management of Visionary-related entertainment.
It's 12:05 on August 1st. The year is 2013, and it is now time for Maui's favorite new talk show. Is it still new? It's our 50th show. David Cain Has Issues, coming at you live from the KAOI studio with the gallery clap and everything. I'm Pistol Pete, and I'm joined by the man with the plan, the man with his name on the show, David Cain.
Yo, Pete.
You got issues?
Hey, I got issues, and I'm telling you, what, we've been doing this, a year now?
Well, nearly.
We need a party.
I'm not a mathematician, but if it's our 50th show, I think we're getting close. 50th state, 50th show, and we've also got, I'm surrounded by attorneys.
Do we have 50 Cent on today?
Dang, that really would have been appropriate. I think you actually suggested that, Liz.
I did, and I put a call into Fitty, but...
And that's the voice of Elizabeth Cuccia, another associate attorney at Cain and Herron, and of course, Michael Collins to my right.
After 50 shows, it feels like home.
It is. It's like home here in the studio with Gary the engineer. Thanks, Gary, for keeping us on the air all these
Gary's like
50
our dad.
shows. He
our
is.
little home.
Uncle Gary. And so this show brought to you every week at noon on Thursdays by the law firm of Cain and Herron, the attorneys with heart. Give them a call for all of your legal needs. The number there is 242-9350. With 16,000 attorneys, oh wait, no, it's 6 attorneys. It's likely we can help.
Wow.
We can help you with whatever your issue may be, and if not, maybe we'll discuss that issue on this show. And on that note, shall we disclaim our efforts before we start talking about anything of substance?
Liz, do you want to disclaim?
Sure, Michael. I'll disclaim. This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Views and opinions expressed on this show should not be construed as legal advice, but if you need legal advice, I think you know who to call.
Hey, it's
Cain
like
and
that
Herron.
was scripted or something. And again, let's just emphasize that about opinions. These are opinions that we express on this show, so if you get upset about stuff and decide to unfriend us on Facebook, well, that's your prerogative.
Wow, you were really bothered by that, weren't you?
Well, we got unfriended.
Yeah,
we built up to 96,
like
and all of a
breaking
sudden I
up with
looked and
someone.
there's -1, and
Yes, they said we were too much kite supporty.
I shed a
Ish.
tear. Well, we
Wow.
don't know for sure, but I'm pretty positive. But
When they
you
said
know,
that I said things that I didn't say,
That's true.
it was Cousin Larry that said them. And
That's why Cousin Larry isn't on the show today. He's on punishment.
Yeah,
That's right. He's
Remind
on
me never to
suspension.
unfriend these people. They're
Right.
taking it
Well, you
too
know,
seriously.
Cousin Larry is kind of pro-kiter.
well, what people need to realize about
I
this
was
show
neutral,
is that if
Really?
so,
Okay.
if we're all of the same opinion about something, one of us is going to take the opposite track so that we can have an actual conversation. So, generally speaking, somebody's going to play devil's advocate.
It's like drama.
Just
We
for
have
the
to make
sake
drama.
of the conversation. Yeah, I mean, we could sit
Makes for
around
more
here and
interesting radio that way.
let's do a show about how delicious chocolate is. Any
Okay.
dissenters? Yeah, right. So that's the idea here. We try to open up discussion, and if we don't get an opposing view, we create an opposing view, and you don't have to listen, but we do appreciate your listenership. And check us out on Facebook /David Cain Has Issues. And also, let us know what you think we ought to do future shows on. And today, we're going to take phone calls throughout the entire show today. We want to hear what people think about this new initiative about the homelessness in Hawaii. So today's topic, homelessness in Hawaii. And 242, David?
242-7800.
That would be
Give
the
us a
number
call.
to the studio.
What do you guys think about the homeless
Well, what-
situation?
242
Why don't you
7800.
start by describing what the issue is?
Well, the issue, that's a broad issue, but the reason that this got sparked as today's program topic is the Return to Home program that the state of Hawaii just launched.
Return to home. I love that.
Return to Home.
It's, in other words, get them the heck out of Hawaii.
Yeah, well, I don't know if
Hawaii's not
that's
your
the
home.
wording that they've
Go
got
back
in
to
here,
your
but
home.
yeah, so we've set aside $100,000 a year for 3 years. That's $300,000 for those lacking math skills. This is a pilot program designed to transport some homeless folks back to the mainland, back to where they came from. It's not like you get to pick your destination. It's back to your hometown, evidently.
A free
I wanna go to
ticket one
Fiji.
way. Oh,
So-
and Mr. P, we have our first call, I think.
Well, let's go ahead and take a caller. Caller, you're live on the air with David Cain Has Issues.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Is the opposing view.
Okay, what's
the
what's
opposing view to
the opposing
homelessness?
view?
No, I'm just always the opposing view. I can't sit in the studio today, though.
Cousin
it's
Larry.
Yay!
Thanks for joining us. I could almost have introduced you and just had you on the phone. How's it going, cousin?
Well, you know what? I miss home. Michael says it feels like home. I miss you guys, even though I'm not
we
there.
miss you too.
You know, you can get a free ticket to where are you from?
I grew up in
home.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay,
Although
free ticket to Arizona.
I'm probably going to say some scandalous things and attribute them to you. And since you're not here,
That's perfectly okay. I am sorry if I cost us a friend on Facebook.
Yes, thanks, cousin.
Cousin,
You
our-
pro-kiter, you.
yeah, I mean, we like friends, but don't friend us if you're going to unfriend us because that hurts our
This
feelings.
friendship
Just
is
so you guys know, the
forever.
reason why I'm actually not in the studio today is because I'm out trying to find if this Ben Heron guy actually really does exist.
Oh, I've heard of him.
He's on a heron hunt.
He's elusive, like Bigfoot or something like that. And so I hear tales of him, but I've never actually seen him. I don't think he actually exists. So I'm out here in the depths of haiku trying to find and track down this Ben Heron guy.
If you're curious about what he looks like, there's a big portrait of him in our front office.
Now,
I
what
saw
led
that.
you?
I think it's kind of like Picasso and the Mona Lisa. It was just David Cain superimposed himself backwards.
Well, no, actually, he looks like Lennon from, not John Lennon, the
Vladimir
rock
Hero?
star, but
Imagine
yes,
all the
right.
people. Oh, the other Lennon.
The
The
other
other
Lennon.
Lennon, the
But
bad Lennon.
Cousin, what led you to haiku looking
so
for
bad.
Ben? Because that sounds like maybe a red herring.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
then again, I think that all chasing down of Ben could be a red herring. I don't know. I think he needs to be on the show.
Cousin, since we have you on the air, let's get your opinion about this new program. Did you hear about this, where they're going to pay one-way tickets for the homeless folks to go back to their hometown?
Well, I think, in 20 years of being here, and Pete, you've been here longer than I have, and David, you've been here longer than I have, I've heard tales of this for years about how they didn't send them back to the mainland, but they just sent them to Oahu, and then Oahu sent them here.
Well, let me tell you, actually, guys, what, sorry, cousin, didn't mean to cut you off, but what we used to do in the public defender's office, hopefully I'm not giving away any secrets, but we did actually have times where the judiciary would buy one-way tickets for some of our clients as opposed to incarcerating them because it's essentially cheaper to get them off the island. And so I must say, I had several clients that took advantage of that.
Remember that crazy caller
Wow.
that we had? Like maybe it was the second episode, and he was saying that people were taking the homeless and turning them into
Oh my God,
fertilizer.
grinding them
Remember that?
up behind the hospital.
Well, we didn't
I
do that.
remember
We didn't grind them up.
One of
The secret homeless person grinder upper.
one of our more well-informed callers that suggested that. Yes.
Well, no, didn't suggest, thought it. Yeah, right.
It is the absolute truth.
Well, cousin,
Yeah, so this
Well,
program is
for
better
me,
than that.
it seems a little bit suspicious and wrought for some sort of fraud of some sort. I mean, to me, it's just like, it sounds like a great idea, but how exactly do you take advantage of that? Who is it that, they're going to target? Is it voluntary or not? Are they going to drag some homeless guy off, in handcuffs through security and TSA and put him on a plane and force him back to Minnesota?
that wasn't.
It's-
Or if you are from
completely
Minnesota, why?
voluntary.
No offense to Minnesota, but if you're from Minnesota and you could be a homeless person here, or you could be a homeless person in Minnesota, why would you go back to Minnesota?
Cousin, are you saying you don't trust the government?
Yes, I'm saying that implicitly. I don't trust the government. However, I do really like Gladys Baisa because she's a grandmother and she's Portuguese.
Well,
I
there you
love
go.
Gladys. Hi, Gladys.
Hey, cousin, as the
out.
conversation unfolds today, maybe you can give a call in a little bit later.
Okay,
I don't know if you're
I
available
will
to do
keep
that,
you
but-
abreast of my my search for the red herring.
Good luck, cousin.
Okay, excellent. Cousin Larry joining us from upcountry. Now,
right.
okay, so there's an estimated 17,000 people homeless in the state of Hawaii. Obviously, the majority are probably on Oahu, but this article states that they're hoping with this program to send 100 home this year.
Yeah, I mean,
out of
what is
17,000.
that supposed to do? How is that supposed to impact the homelessness issue?
Well, maybe they're going to do the guys that walk with the shopping carts and the real cuckoo ones.
Now,
maybe?
Well, no, because in order to get sent back, they have to pass a background check and be mentally sound So you can't be
yeah.
the crazy guy pushing the carts around, or
So I
that
mean,
one girl that carries around a big old bag of cigarettes.
are they going to be asking these people for their tax returns? You know, like, oh yeah, I just happen to have that on the bench.
Here
That
are
is
all of
fun.
my credentials in my
Yeah.
file.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
the-
my
Show me your
question.
To
ID.
qualify
I don't have one.
for the trial, participants must complete a background check, be mentally sound, and have what the bill calls sufficient personal hygiene.
And now I read
So
something
no
too
stinky
where
people.
No
they're-
stinky people on
well,
the
they're
plane.
going to help you to not be stinky. What I read also was that they're going to do like an airport orientation and a personal hygiene session of some kind.
So weird. Gosh, our government is so weird.
No
I'm
wonder it's
sorry,
costing
this is just
$100,000
bizarre.
for 100 plane tickets.
Well, presumably,
I want
well,
that
yeah.
100
So where's
grand.
the rest
Right,
of the
me
money going to
too.
go if they're only planning on 100 tickets?
like 100 tickets. So
How about using some of that money to offer services to help them here?
Gee, Michael Collins, what a novel idea.
Okay, 242-7800.
Let us know what you think about this
Are you-
homeless
is Cousin still online?
initiative.
You're
I
not
don't know.
online, right?
I
Cousin?
hear a buzz. I thought maybe the line was still open, but all right. It's
Okay,
probably just my
cousin
ear.
has hung up. He's
So
left the room.
242-7800.
242-7800.
And now, you know, I have been here a long time, as most of us have been, and in the same general neighborhood for that matter. And I'm coastal, and I think that's where most of the homeless folks prefer to be.
You're postal.
I have not gone postal, but I do live coastal. Well, at least up the hill a little bit. Anyway, I've known a lot of guys, and I have to say mostly guys, who were contributors to the local economy. They worked, they had places, they may or may not have had vehicles. You know, I've been down in Kihei side, so you can live in Kihei without having a car pretty well. But, you know, some of these guys I've seen over the years, for whatever reason, they are now those guys pushing the shopping cart or carrying the plastic bag, or you can tell obviously they now don't have that job, they don't have that place to stay, and they're relying on you know, people giving them handouts essentially and going down to St. Teresa's to the soup kitchen.
I
and-
mean, based on these requirements of having a certain level of cleanliness and doing this background check, I mean, it would seem like it would only take another step or two to help get these people jobs
right.
here.
I don't think they
to
can hold.
contribute.
I don't think they can hold down jobs, though. I mean, really.
Well,
But that's got to
See,
be a generalization.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, if they're mentally fit, if they pass this mental evaluation to get
exactly.
on a plane,
if they're
maybe
passing,
they
if they're
can
passing the background check,
they're
they're passing the background check. They're clean. I mean, what else do they need? Like a job skill or something? Learn how to
Well,
type.
I mean, we've all heard of the homeless people that actually are, you know, just they are mentally fit. They're just in a bad circumstance. They maybe lost their job.
Right.
They don't have enough to make a security deposit, down payment for an apartment, or
And I think
something.
that's
to
who
that
this
nature.
is
those-
aimed to help, is
take
to
those-
send them back to where their families are, where they have a supportive
Well, that's
environment.
actually logical. Okay, I can kind of see that.
Take the $300,000 and the 100 people that you want to help, and pay them to do something to clean up the island, or something like that. I mean, employ them.
All right. There's a suggestion, another suggestion from Mike. And we've got another caller. Caller, you are live on the air with David Cain Has Issues.
What's your name?
Hey guys, how's it?
Hey, good. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Wayne Kihei.
Hey, Wayne.
Hey, you know, I think more than half of those guys are more than capable of working. A lot of them, they just don't want to work, and there's so much stuff out there. They can get food stamps. There's all these programs. They can eat 3 square meals a day, you know, but they sit out there with their signs and they beg for money. I've even given a guy outside of Long's my last $10, you know, and I kind of wanted to see what he was going to spend that on, and so I followed him in the store and just kind of was like looking over at him, and he pulled out a big wad of cash out of his pocket and gave it to the general clerk cashier, and they gave him back like $300 bills. So, you know, who's the sucker? Wayne. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of these guys are fit, they're strong, they're capable of working. I don't know, you know, they're just milking the system.
And it sounds like this program is voluntary. So these people who are abusing the system and the resources, they're not the ones that are going to be flown back to the mainland.
Right, right. Well, Wayne's right. I mean, you know, you got to be careful who you're giving money to. I've actually some of these guys that I know, I'll buy them
Sucker.
food. I'll give them food.
Yeah.
You know, if
or-
they really
or-
need food, then there you go. And otherwise, good
Or
luck selling it.
maybe there should be like a food coupon or something you
Well,
can take to McDonald's and.
You know, we were actually talking about this a few weeks ago when my mom was here. She went to St. Teresa's, and she was really impressed with their food program. And, you know, for anyone who's having trouble just having 3 basic meals, you can go over there and have a meal and not pay for it. And
Well, they're all eligible for food stamps. You know, they can get the credit card from the what is it called?
The State
one place
Department.
where
Yeah.
yeah,
You're talking
and
about
then
the
they can just
EBT.
go down and get, you know, they're all eligible for that.
so what do you think about this program then? I mean, do you think it's ill thought out?
I don't think it's going to help, like you guys are saying, and I think the money could be spent, you know, helping the real people that are out there, the families and stuff. That, you know, that maybe the father lost a job and then, you know, they get kicked out of their unit or whatever. You know, I think that's more important than just shipping people away.
Hey, Wayne.
All right, Wayne.
How long have you been listening to the show, Wayne?
Oh, a long time.
Right
You guys
on.
are great.
Hey, thanks, man.
Hey, all right,
You guys
Wayne.
do a good job. I like all your topics. You cover a lot of good stuff, and go back to the GMO thing. Let's bring that back up.
There you go. Oh boy. Yeah,
Keep
we'll
All
get
right.
some
going,
calls
you know,
on that.
because we need to get rid of that, and you guys do a great job. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks,
right
Wayne.
on.
you.
Thanks, Wayne. And I know some stuff happened on Kauai recently, or maybe it's coming up soon regarding GMOs, but that's another topic,
Well,
and we will readdress that issue.
Let's try to have a positive comment about this proposal.
About
because,
this proposal?
Because I actually, you know, if I lost my employment, I lost my condo, I probably would be thinking about trying to reunite with family. And
I think
if I
that's
didn't have
what-
the means to do that, you know, then, I mean, presumably I could pass a background check and maybe I could get a ticket to New Jersey.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there's a category of homeless folks who should be able to benefit from this program.
Right.
And while we were talking about St. Teresa's, I wanted to give props to all of the outfits on Maui who provide free meals for the homeless and the folks who can't pay for food.
My
not
food
just,
bank,
Not just St. Teresa's,
Feed
but
My
the
Yeah.
big
Sheep,
one. Yeah.
right? And the
But, you
Episcopal
know,
Church gives,
My mother is Catholic,
Actually, I
and
think-
she's been to a lot of churches, and she was incredibly impressed with how philanthropic this
St.
particular
Teresa's.
church
Yeah.
is.
All right.
Okay,
all right.
we've got another caller.
Caller, you're live on the air with David Cain Has Issues. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, Gary. Hi, guys. Jerry, the not so grumpy old man anymore.
Yay,
Gary.
Yay!
What do you think?
I like the idea if it's voluntary, because I think particularly some of the younger people that come here with a complete misconception of what it takes to make it here.
Yes,
That's a good point.
they do.
You know, if you know, and all they really need is a free ticket home, because it's not really going to. The numbers aren't big enough to do anything as far as alleviating the problem at all. But if you can help 100 people a year get home, or which seems a little low, that's at $1,000 airplane. That's pretty expensive. But you know, if you can help that 100 people get home and not be stuck here, why not?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for that. Thanks for
Good-
your call
good
and your
comment.
opinion. We
Good
appreciate
comment.
all our listeners. And here's we remain concerned that this program is an an invitation to purchase a one-way ticket to Hawaii with a guaranteed return flight home. That's a quote from spokeswoman for the Department of Human Services, Kayla Rosenfeld. So she's worried that'll backfire, where people will just buy a one-way ticket to Hawaii knowing that they can use this program
Chill
to get
for
back.
for a couple months
So-
on the beach and then apply to.
Yeah, I mean,
go back
maybe
for
there
free?
Well,
should
abuse.
be
Yeah.
maybe there should be an exception for. I mean, you have to be here a certain amount of time, right? You have to have.
Again, we get down to the documentation that some of these folks may not have.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well, we're talking about
3
homelessness
character
in Hawaii.
witnesses
If you're going to be
seen you
homeless,
going
then
up and down the street.
right. Yeah.
Right, and a resume.
Yes.
Why not be homeless on Maui if that's your option? And we're going to continue this discussion when we come back in 2 minutes.
My name is Lawrence Carnicelli. I've been a real estate broker on the island for 13 years. Recently, I had a transaction where the paperwork was a little bit complex. I recommended to my client that they have it reviewed by an attorney. Obviously, I recommended David Cain of Cain and Heron. David reviewed the documents, and he actually found something in those documents. It saved my client hundreds of thousands of dollars, and my client was overwhelmingly happy with that. If anybody were to ask me about who I would recommend for law, especially real estate law and contract law, immediately the first name that pops into my mind is David Cain. The reason why is because David has been doing this for years. He's very thorough in it. He's competent. Oftentimes we think that an attorney just is looking out for their own best interest or trying to do billable hours. David Cain actually is looking out for his clients.
For the best legal representation on Maui, call Cain and Heron, the attorneys with heart. 242-9350, 242-9350.
What do all these businesses have in common?
Whole Foods, Island Honda, Kula Hardware and Nursery, Teddy's Bigger Burgers, Tire Warehouse, Hula Cookies and Ice Cream, Arby's Steakhouse, Hula Grill, Dog and Duck Pub.
They all see results on HawaiiOnTV.com.
A TV internet network all about Hawaii. Over 1 million viewers on our networks can't be wrong. Join the TV internet explosion with HawaiiOnTV.com. Call us at 573-5530.
Hey Maui, Trish the Dish here. Make sure you tune into the Weekly Dish radio show every Friday morning at 7 a.m. on Kauai, 11:10 a.m. and 96.7 FM with my groovy co-host Sean Michael and I.
We'll be serving up hot news and cool community views from the Maui Weekly and feature some great small businesses, local music, and art scenes.
The Weekly Dish is brought to you by Stella Blues, Charlie's, Wailuku Coffee Company, 3 Surf Lounge, Manoli's Pizza Company, and Ambrosia Martini Lounge. For past episodes, visit theweeklydishradio.com and like us on Facebook. Thanks for listening. Keep it real. Aloha.
Send lawyers, guns, and money.
Definitely have the first one on that list. Lots of lawyers in the house with me. I'm Pistol Pete, joined by 3 attorneys from the law firm of Cain and Heron, the main sponsor of this show, and they are the Attorneys with Heart. Thanks to David, Michael, and Elizabeth for joining me. But let me give some props to our co-sponsors. We've got HawaiiOnTV.com and Jazz Alley TV, and you can check out their community programming on cable channel 10, and they've got the 3rd annual Lanai Slack Key Guitar Festival. That starts tomorrow, and that's over on Lanai, which is why they call it that. That's happening at the Four Seasons on Lanai. If you like some Slack Key guitar music, you might want to take the ferry on over there.
And check out their website, too.
Check out the website.
HawaiiOnTV.com. It's really good.
And I think there's a website specifically for Lanai, SlackKeyGuitarFestival.com. And then coming up in September here on the Valley Isle of Maui at the Grand Wailea, the 3rd annual Maui Jazz and Blues Festival. Those are both festivals organized and sponsored by HawaiiOnTV.com, Jazz Alley TV. Check them out. And thanks to the Valley Isle Day Spa, the lovely oasis that's hiding down on South Kihei Road, South Maui. It's across from Kalama Park in a building you wouldn't expect to find such a lovely gem of a place. They're on the 2nd floor there, across from the basketball courts. And massage, facials, manicure, pedicure. Just when you walk in the door, most of the stress already just starts steaming off of your head. But I recommend highly the Valley Isle Day Spa. Give them a call.
Michael had a facial, and I didn't even recognize him afterwards.
he spoke of it for
shined.
8.
He looked
like a
12.
diamond.
Took 5 years off my life.
And I think that you said you're going to continue to do that. You're like...
Michael, it didn't take 5 years off your life.
Yeah,
I meant
he put that
made
away,
me
right.
look 5 years younger.
There you
Right.
go.
Poor choice of words. Word choice.
So now you look like you're in
choice.
junior high instead
Yeah.
of high school. Well, give them a call and set up an appointment of any kind. They've got packages for 2. They've got mother-daughter combo packages. Go in there and take your keiki and get your toes done kind of thing. But let them know that you heard about them here on David Cain Has Issues, and you will get a complimentary Hawaiian sea salt aromatherapy foot soak. And there you go, Valley Isle Day Spa,
That
thanks
sounds
to them.
nice.
And Peter, now we have a Vitech class coming up, I believe.
Vitech, now these are
They
continuing...
don't call it Vitech anymore. It's Adventure.
I think if you look it up that way,
Ew.
it'll search it for you. But you're right, it's Adventure Maui. These are continuing education classes.
And it's not at the community college.
We have graduated
call
from a
it that
community
anymore.
college. We now have the University of Hawaii Maui campus. And so this is a class that David Cain, I believe you are teaching this class. Is that correct?
I am, yes. And it's going to be fun.
And David
So
does,
much fun.
David does appreciate apples.
Yes.
There you go.
So,
Polish
yes,
the
bring the
apple, bring
teacher.
it for the desk. This is a class on foreclosure, short sale, and bankruptcy. It's a 4-hour class coming up on August 24th. So that's a Saturday, and it's from 9 a.m. to 1. If you want to sign up for this class, call 984-3231. I'll say that one more time, 984-3231. And when we get back to the office, I'll put that on our Facebook page in case you need that information. So interested in that topic, David Cain will be speaking. That class costs $69 from what I see here.
Yeah, and sometimes there's reduced tuition, and actually sometimes there's free tuition, depending on, like, I think Alexander and Baldwin people give free tuition, but different organizations have deals with the college.
Okay, and I'm sure they can tell you that when you call to register. And so back to the topic at hand. Due to this new program where we're going to send homeless folks back to the mainland if they so choose, we're talking about homelessness.
I did want to explore a non sequitur,
Okay.
if we can. Flossie. I'm interested in people's experiences.
Flossy
Flossie.
experiences? All right.
Yes.
And maybe how Flossie may have affected the homeless population.
My grandma's best friend was named Flossie.
I didn't think that was a real name.
My,
I thought they
my
made
first
it up.
puppy was named Flossie.
I understand it's short for Florence.
Oh, okay.
That's
I
what
did not know
that's what
that.
somebody
I didn't
told
know
me
that.
anyway. But
Well, you know, I was trying to tell my mom about this storm, and she thought I was trying to tell a joke because of the name of the storm.
It's hard
I
to
mean,
take it
you can't
seriously.
take it
Yeah.
seriously.
Actually, our we have a police officer, Schmidt here, and he went to the same high school I did. He, in fact, graduated just a few years behind me in at Grove City, Ohio High School.
Ohio.
And I think his grandmother or his aunt was Flossie.
Wow.
Oh,
well,
okay,
that was a long path to get to somebody
I
named
know.
Flossie.
I know. Sorry, everybody.
But apparently now we have Gil to worry about, possibly.
Do we
Gil-
actually have to worry about Gil?
I don't know. Did we have to worry about Flossie?
No.
No. But, you know, you
Hey,
have
you
to
knocked
worry.
down my
We didn't
banana
worry,
tree.
Right.
That's right.
And,
That's true.
and we
I
lost
almost-
internet for, what, 5 hours?
Wait,
Oh,
what?
my
Actually,
goodness.
Yeah, and it
We lost
knocked
internet?
power. They had a brownout. That was yesterday, right? We had to start up the generator
Well,
because
actually,
Yeah, I guess
there was a
technically we
brownout.
didn't lose internet, but we lost power, so we couldn't use the internet. I mean, same
Not in
difference.
It was
Kihei,
a
though.
sad, sad day.
No,
Yeah,
no,
not in
but
Kihei.
In our law office. You and I
Oh,
were like, how are we
yes.
going to bill, right?
I remember that now.
Yes, okay.
Well,
Yikes. That's important.
some folks up country actually did lose power for a full day, so it did affect
Yeah.
different people around the island in a different way.
Well, if you have a Flossie story, call 242-7800, or if you want to talk about the homeless issue.
Chime in on the homeless issue here. Now, here's the big picture.
Or for extra credit, tie them together.
This is, that's right, for extra credit and
I
possibly
saw a homeless
gift.
guy out blowing in Flossie.
From the National Alliance to End Homelessness website, the big picture states that there are, on any given night in the United States, over 633,000 people experiencing homelessness.
Wow. Really?
633,000.
Now, why do the homeless people beat each other up?
Well, I'm
that's prevalent here. They're always going to jail.
Stress?
Do you guys read that?
maybe
I
stress.
did.
Selective prosecution?
No,
No.
I
No,
don't
I
think
heard
so.
that there was like a. You know,
Oh, we
that's
got a-
probably mostly over drugs.
We
though.
got a call. That could be.
right.
Okay, caller.
Caller, you're live on the air with David Cain Has Issues. Caller, are you there? Hello, what's your name? Sounds like you're calling from Haiku.
The homeless thing here on the island, I think it's a big joke. Granted, there's people that are out there that lost their jobs, lost their homes, whatever their circumstances are, but to be able to turn around and get help from somebody here, they really don't want to help unless they're able to make money off of you. I stayed 2 years at the Henry Weinberg Institute in Lahaina with my wife and my 2 children. My wife is a local. My kids are born here. I'm from the mainland. Because we weren't addicts or we didn't have any type of criminal history, they really didn't want to help us. They were willing, Henry Weinberg Foundation was willing to pay to send myself, my wife, my 2 kids back to my hometown so my parents could deal with the issue. And it took a little bit from, I think it was when Mayor Chemo, I can't remember his last name, but
Apana.
we had to put letters into him and phone calls into them to get us into the shelter. once we got into the shelter, we had to go to alcohol classes when I don't drink. We had to go to anger management. And we've come to find out what it was every time somebody hits these classes, they get more money. I just wanted to make that comment, put it out there, that the homeless here, the county doesn't care about it. They just want to pass the buck, and that goes for the state, too. Thanks.
Okay, right on.
All
Thanks.
right.
Wow,
Yeah,
interesting.
actually,
Thank you.
I'm going to take that and run with it. You know, this
All right,
idea
Mike.
about...
Oh, we have another...
Well, let's hear Mike's comment.
Okay,
on that.
Mike.
This idea about programs requiring you to fit these criteria in order to get help. You know, for me, I had a condition where my medications were $3,000 a month, and I was in a position where I couldn't pay $3,000 a month. And so I went to, this was in New Jersey, so I asked help with nonprofits. And what they told me is, you know, my income level was $2,000 more than the category of what they could help with. So they suggested that I go to my employer and ask him to reduce my hours just so I could fit into their category so I could get some help.
Wow.
And, you know, that it created this disincentive to work just so somebody could offer me some assistance.
Well, what about disabilities? I mean, we have Social Security disability income, which a lot of the disabled homeless people do receive, and I don't know. What's everyone's thought on income, disability income, and food stamps and everything? Actually, we do have a caller though.
Caller, hopefully you were patient. Thanks for calling. You're live on the air with David Cain Has Issues.
Aloha. Okay, I did bring 2 homeless people, into my home the night of Flossie.
Wow.
Oh.
And they're very nice, and I knew one of them already.
Gosh,
and
good
the other
for
one I
you.
didn't.
Yeah, that was really awesome.
That is awesome.
There's
Good
aloha.
for you.
That's one of them
huge.
came all the way from Paia on the bus to get here in the middle of the storm. So yeah, it was amazing to know that you had this show today, because the homeless problem is, people buy one-way tickets. I did a few times, but I have a ohana here on Maui.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when a lot of homeless people come, they don't have anybody. And they may come because they got a small check from their first Social Security, because they are ill, maybe from a pesticide or some reason they're ill. They get a Social Security check, and then they use that to buy the one-way ticket here. I could see that happening.
Mm-hmm. Caller, what's your name?
My name is Kimberly Usher.
Hey, Kimberly. You're awesome.
Oh, hello. I help a lot of homeless people, and I myself have been homeless. And when I was homeless, people were wondering why I sat there and let people open my beers and light my cigarette, and why I just sat in a chair and acted like a queen. Well, I was in a lot of pain and illness, and I could hardly move.
Wow.
So, I wasn't just enjoying myself on the beach laughing and talking.
Was it like depression?
Well, no, and I think the point is...
Pesticide poisoning.
The
Oh my
point
gosh.
is that she's
Yeah,
giving
right
back.
down at the end of
here,
Stable Road.
This is an example of someone who needed help and is giving back and helping the community. And, homeless people are not worthless.
When I got sick this time, I had finally gotten into the HUD housing, Section 8 over here at Kahikili Terrace.
Mm-hmm.
And when I moved in here, I got so sick. I mean, I laid in my bed and I couldn't move for a year.
Oh, my goodness.
It turns out that there's 2 times the amount of dioxin and arsenic in the property here. It used to be the Wailuku pesticide mixing house.
Oh, my.
Yeah, and they graded it and they never cleaned it up. But then when they sprayed pesticides on top of it, it mixed because it's there for like 100 years.
Actually, it's funny that you do say that, because I know that there are in the Alexander and Baldwin real estate contracts, they have a clause in there that you cannot come back and sue them for any pesticides or herbicides that they have put in that particular
Previously on that
land.
property.
Previously on that property.
When you're that sick, money doesn't matter. You just
Right.
want to get better. And it's so lucky that there's people who do get ill that they can get Social Security. And it's also lucky to come to Hawaii, but these people don't realize that it's not like that clean, when you're laying out in the roads and on the beach.
Yeah. Hey, Kimberly, if you want to stay on the line after after we're done talking to you here, we'll get your information, and because you did qualify for the special bonus. You combined homelessness with Flossie there, so I'm going to send you a special gift if we can get your address to Gary.
Free
as soon
lawyer
as we're off the
help.
air.
Okay.
Free.
Thank you.
Well, I have some homeless people that are always needing help. I'm going to file lawsuits and things, and I help them all the time, man. There's a lot of help out there that they need.
Kimberly, you're great. You're awesome. Hang on the line, okay?
Thanks for the call, Kimberly.
Oh, well, and also the $400, they have ways to make sure that people are using it correctly to get back to the mainland.
Oh, okay.
Can I get a triple present?
All right, well, there's Aloha right there. She experienced it and she gave back, like Mike was saying.
So I do want to share another story, because I think one of the unique things about Hawaii is this ohana that we live in. And it's the support that other people give each other. And, when I came here, I also bought a one-way ticket. And I took a chance. And I easily could have not made it here. But I had support structure, and it was, David and Tim in particular that were, if not even financial support, just emotional support, so that I did have someone to talk to help me through these tough times. And now I've been here for over 5 years. I'd like to think that I'm participating and contributing to the economy, and I think that this is one of the success stories of what can happen to people when they take a chance.
I love the concept, the Hawaiian concept of ohana. I love that idea that maybe it's just because we're on an island that we have to kind of fend for each other, and become each other's ohana. I love the idea of pono as well. It's just fantastic, these ideas.
That's why people buy a one-way ticket to Hawaii sometimes, I suppose. And you know what? It's funny. When I moved here, it was so long ago that I bought a round-trip ticket because it was cheaper than a one-way ticket. But at that point, you could sell your return ticket to somebody else. I think I sold it not on Craigslist. That didn't exist then. I think it was in the bulletin. So you can't do that anymore, but that was how I got to Maui. But on that note, we're going to take our final break in this show. We'll be back in a couple of minutes to finish up talking about homelessness on David Cain Has Issues.
Are you a safecracker, an embezzler? Do you frequently get what you want by waving a gun around? Have you ever gotten a royalty check from the show Cops? Were you forced to join a gang in prison? Being a criminal is a thankless job. From gun cleaning to money counting, keeping the getaway car gassed up, there's a lot to worry about when you've chosen a life of crime. So when Johnny Law catches up with you,
don't tase me, bro!
The last thing you want to stress over is who to call for legal representation. The most successful attorney firm on Maui is still Cain and Herron, and that's because they win almost all of their cases. So no matter how dark things look, Cain and Herron are ready to roll with you on your constitutionally guaranteed day in court. 242-9350 for Cain and Herron, the choice of discerning criminals across our island.
What do all these businesses have in common?
The Pet Shop, Kahului Florist, Diamonds, Tortillas Burrito Company, Badass Coffee, Kahili Golf Course, Maui Magazine, Jay's Place, Gerard's, Kihei Cafe, Pizza Madness, Chemo's Furniture.
They all see results on HawaiiOnTV.com.
A TV internet network all about Hawaii. Over 1 million viewers on our networks can't be wrong. Join the TV internet explosion with HawaiiOnTV.com. Call us at 573-5530.
This Tuesday at noon on Take Liberty with Lawrence Carnicelli, we'll have Councilman Don Couch on. Take Liberty is a local show where we believe there are always peaceful solutions to original thought and rational conversations. Call in and hold your elected bureaucrat accountable. We encourage political atheism for everyone. You have a voice. Call in and be heard Tuesday at high noon. Take Liberty with Lawrence Carnicelli here on KAOI. Slower traffic, please keep right.
When the man comes around.
We can't help the jive talking, but it is a serious topic today. As always, here on David Cain Has Issues, we're talking about homelessness in Hawaii, here on Maui, or all across the state. They've got this new program where they want to let people get back home if that's what they need to do. And so we're taking calls, 242-7800. And so this article came out, maybe it was yesterday, about this new program called Return to Home. And I want to read a comment that was posted there from Dan. My dad was mentally ill when I went to find him in Honolulu. I just asked 2 policemen if they knew him, and they looked at each other and said, "He looks just like you. Richard, right?" And they showed me where he was. I had not seen him since I was a child. The city had a bed for him and kept very close tabs on meds, etc. No meds, no bed. Thank you for that memory and the care you provided.
Wow. And we have another caller. Hey, caller.
Live on the air with David Cain Has Issues.
Hello.
Hello. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Michael. I'm calling from Haiku.
Hey, Michael. What do you...
I'm not homeless, but let's suppose I was. How many free tickets can I get if I keep coming back?
You know, there's got to be some more rules on this program, but that's a good question.
I'd like to go see my mother. And,
Well, that is definitely one of the concerns, is a potential abuse of this situation, but I don't know. We will have to maybe get an update on a future show of are they going to keep tabs on the people that they send back home?
They implant them with a chip.
You know, we should try to figure out who the administrator of this program is.
I think it's
and interview them. You know, just get a sense of.
Okay, thanks, Michael.
Thanks,
for your call.
Michael. Yeah, it's we picked up on this topic at the last moment, so we don't have an official person to talk about it, but we will try to do that. And now we have another caller live on the air with David Cain Has Issues.
Hello, Alex Van Winkle's the name.
Hey, Alex.
How you doing? I was just calling to kind of tune in on this. I used to live here. I was a teacher, and it seems to me that the affordable housing is quite difficult. You know, especially if you work in an industry, or not an industry, but for service to people, whether it be a firefighter, a police officer, a school teacher. You know, that's what I did for 5 years, and it was tough making ends meet on the salaries of teachers. If you want to, afford a house. In fact, on the Maui Weekly just this morning, it's affordable housing struggles to compete in a rising housing market. And if you read the article, it's it seems to me that there's a lot of potential talent that maybe come from here but have to move to the mainland because it's tough to make a living and own a house.
Alex, what area are you in now, or are you calling from?
I'm calling from Kihei, and I used to live in Kihei. I taught at Lokelani Intermediate School from 94 to 99, and it was great fun, and I wish I could have stayed, but it was difficult to afford to do so.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's your view on the sending homeless people back to the mainland?
I guess I understand that but again, you're going to have people take advantage of that, and before you know it, they're going to find money when they get back home to fly back out here and be homeless again here. Let's face it, if I was going to be homeless, this is where I'd want to do it.
Right.
All right, Alex. Well, thank you thanks for
comment.
listening. First time listener, first time caller. Actually, he's a second-time listener because he was here last week listening to the show too. I know Alex, and he's a great guy. He was a teacher, and we want to have good teachers here.
Yes,
and
we need to pay teachers more for sure.
He lived in, pardon my French, but a crap hole apartment. I don't think he even had a car. He donated his time to the school so that they would have a basketball team. I mean, this is a great person, a talented math teacher, and he had to move away from here because he just couldn't make enough money as a teacher.
Yeah, I mean, one comment about shipping people back to the mainland is definitely with the cost of living here. I think it would be cheaper to be able to house yourself back in New Jersey or Pennsylvania or something like that as opposed to here.
Right.
I mean, you really need to work multiple jobs in order to even pay rent here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how much affordable housing really is there here? I mean, not a whole lot.
No,
I mean,
and that-
if you want a bedroom, I guess.
That
but-
goes back to that disillusionment, I think, of the people moving here thinking that, oh, yeah, all I need to do is get there, and then I'll figure it out once I'm there. But it's hard to establish that if you don't come here with a little bit of money or a place to stay already or some friends or a job, something. You got to
Well,
have a foothold.
You know, when I came here, and it has been quite a while, but when I came here, I definitely had a plan. I mean, you know, I had taken previously to it, I had taken the bar exam, so I knew that, you know, I was going to be a licensed attorney here. So you know, having a plan helps.
I took a couple more risks than you.
So
I gave my job 30 days notice.
And you just
I
gave
didn't take
out,
the-
didn't you?
Right. I didn't take the bar exam. I was really sick at the time. You know, it was completely foolish of me to have made that choice, but it worked out perfectly.
You know, Hawaii, though, another thing is Hawaii welcomes you or doesn't welcome you. It'll either, in my opinion, Maui in particular, it'll either welcome you or it'll spit you out and you're gone.
That tends to be the case. I've seen that. Yeah, more people don't stay than do, that's for sure. I think we have another caller. Caller, you're live on the air.
Yeah, guys, I saw a homeless guy that looked just like Eric Snowden get hit by lightning during the Flossie storm.
Is this Cousin Larry?
Cousin, you're not
He
getting
does
the
not
prize.
get extra credit.
He's trying to
Yeah.
combine more topics.
Yeah, cousin's trying to get the prize.
You know, guys, I think Liz hit it on the head. I think only the government could spend $100,000 on 100 one-way tickets.
Right? That does seem a little outrageous.
Even first class wouldn't cost that.
Right?
Wouldn't it be nice if one of the airlines actually gave a contract deal for, you know, this service?
Right.
So it's only $300 a ticket or
Cousin,
something.
are you saying you don't trust the government?
Uh-oh, spoiler alert.
I almost said probably not Delta, but I guess views expressed on this show are opinions of our individual people. No, you saw the article about the guy
Yeah,
on
I
Delta,
sent that
right?
out to you guys.
Yikes. Well,
That
maybe we'll
was
talk about that
scary.
on another show. But
Another great show, guys. Thank you.
Cousin,
Thanks, Cousin.
we
Bye,
miss
Cuz.
you.
We miss you.
Hopefully we'll have him back for number 51. All right, the line's open, 242-7800. Let us know your thoughts about homelessness on Maui. I don't know how many homeless folks might be able to call in, but we've had a couple.
I think Cousin Larry has issues.
Maybe he's upset that we took the name that he would have named his show.
Well,
we're taking liberty with that name.
You know, another comment I have, obviously, people know that I file bankruptcy petitions, so I help people get debt-free. And often, I would say about 25% of my clients move back to the mainland after they file bankruptcy. So there's always this plan about when are they filing because they want to get a ticket and they don't want to come back. And, you know, because the idea is really for their fresh start, they need a job and they're not getting one here.
And they need to be able to afford rent.
Right. So I thought that was interesting. It's not like bankruptcy necessarily goes hand in hand with homelessness, but people find it way too expensive.
Now,
to live here.
Peter, how many homeless did you say there were in Hawaii?
In Hawaii it was about
17,000?
17,000, but nationally was over 633,000. And then also, here's some more statistics here from the National Coalition for the Homeless from 2009. Study of 50 cities found that in virtually every city, the city's official estimated number of homeless people greatly exceeded the number of emergency shelter and transitional housing spaces. And that, moreover, there are few or no shelters in rural areas of the United States, despite a significant level of about 9% of the homeless are in rural areas that have pretty much no shelters.
So here they're basically camping. Is that right, do you think?
Well, I know that a lot of them are, if they're following the appropriate rules to get by with camping, according to Maui County's or the Department of Land and Natural Resources rules on camping. But, yeah, I mean, it's easy to sleep under a bush. Then nobody sees your tent.
You know, I was looking into the permit issue for camping, and it seems like you need a permit unless you have a fishing pole.
Yeah, all you have to do is put up a fishing
right.
pole.
Yeah,
well, we
so-
should have asked the DLNR guy.
Well,
last week.
maybe what they should do is take their $300,000 and buy fishing poles. And then everybody gets a fishing pole, they can camp.
Everybody in Hawaii gets a fishing pole.
No, homeless people.
Just the homeless people
No,
getting
I
fishing
think
poles.
well, that's discrimination.
Equal
I want
protection.
a fishing pole too.
Well, you have a job. You can buy your own fishing pole.
Yeah, right.
I want a
Subject to
free
fraud,
one.
right?
I want a free one.
Wow. Hey, here's some people's
we have a
comments.
call.
Oh, we have a caller. Let's take the caller then. You're live on the air with David Cain Has Issues. Hello. Hello, caller.
Hello, this is Curry again.
Okay.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello. You're live on the air.
Yeah, okay. I think the fishing pole is an old myth because now you have to stay by the pole.
You have to stay by the pole.
Oh, well.
And I guess it's not very convincing if there's no string on the pole. Or
There's nothing in the water. You're not catching any fish.
The world's worst
How many times have
fisherman.
you fished?
I'm not very good at it.
Okay, so you have to stay by the pole like within a certain number of feet, or how many minutes, or do you know the rules on that?
I don't know completely because it used to be that was how people got away with camping. They just stick an aluminum pole in the ground and then camp and stay beaches, and then they came back and said, no, you can fish, but you have to actively be fishing. So you have to be within X amount of feet and away to the
Okay.
pole.
That's
that makes
interesting.
sense. Closing that loophole and getting rid of the faux fishermen.
Thanks
All right.
for telling me that, because actually I was thinking of the fishing pole idea for myself, but
Yeah, you better fish.
You gotta be
better
fishing.
fish. Better learn how to fish.
Gary, do we have another caller right now? No? All right. Well, here's a quote from none other than Will I Am from the Black Eyed Peas, and he says...
Are you?
Will I Am. There are 5 issues that make a fist of a hand that can knock America out cold. They are lack of jobs, obesity, diabetes, homelessness, and lack of good education. I've just got a random assortment of quotes about homelessness here.
I was going to say, wow.
But that's an interesting, of the knockout hand, homelessness is one of the top 5.
According to Will I Am.
According to Will I Am. And
who is...
Maybe we should do
Who is
a
that?
show on obesity and diabetes.
Well, there we go. We
You
could
know,
definitely-
actually, diabetes is pretty bad here in
My
Hawaii.
my sister just had that bypass surgery where they staple your stomach, and she's lost a lot of weight.
Pete, why don't you
Wow,
tell us...
we digress.
Why don't you tell us when
Yeah.
that class is
Now
again?
for something completely different.
And now back to the information about the VITEC class. If you do want to get some information about foreclosure, short sales, and bankruptcy, there is a class coming up on August 24th. That is in 4 Fridays, Saturdays, rather. It's from 9 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon, and you can call 984-3231 to register. And it's a 4-hour class to discuss the details of trying to sell, buy, or transfer homes in the current housing market, which, as we all know, is just a joy.
And that was mostly correct.
Yeah,
except it's not VITEC, it's Adventure.
We talk about
Did
loan...
I say VITEC?
Yes.
We talk about loan modification as well.
Right.
And it's
Well,
a
and
good class. We
yeah,
have real estate people there. Cousin, are you
the
going to be there?
classes-
Where's Cousin Larry? Call him.
The classes really are adjusted to the people that are attending them. So if we get people who are interested in investing in foreclosures, for example, then that changes the lecture.
Well, we do a lot of commissionerships at our office, and that's essentially going an attorney acting kind of as a trustee through the foreclosure procedure.
But it's a cool class because wherever you're coming from, I mean, we will listen to your goals and your issues, and we'll try to steer the class in that direction.
Right, exactly.
So, Mike, it sounds like you're going to also be at this class, adding in your 2 cents?
Yeah, as long as I don't have that open house. I'm not sure if I double book that.
All right,
Hopefully not.
and who else is going to? You're going to have some folks from the real estate world.
Yeah,
at
we
this,
usually
maybe?
have real estate world, and we have loan modifications.
We bring in guest speakers, so we'll have a realtor who does short sales, and we'll have a negotiator that negotiates loan modifications.
All right. Well, there's a lot of people on this island that could benefit from that kind of information. And like Mike said, whoever's there, whatever their specific angle is, the speakers will try to speak to it. And, right, that's what you were saying, isn't it? Okay.
Pretty sure.
All right. Well, I don't know if we have time, if there's anyone else who wants to call and talk about homelessness, but that
No.
music tells me
No,
that
no
the
time,
answer is
Peter.
no. That's engineer Gary's way of saying it's time to get out of my studio, you guys. So this is Pistol Pete, and I'm happy to have been joined in the studio today by David Cain, Michael Collins, and Elizabeth Cuccia, fine attorneys from Cain and Herron, 242-9350 for all of your legal needs. And we will be back next week, Thursday at noon, for show number 51. Everybody have a great week. Keep the aloha.